Hey, Hal here. Today is Sunday, July the 5th, 2026, and we have two big games that I want to say something about. Brazil is playing Norway, and England is playing Mexico. Now, the game between Brazil and Norway has a lot built around it. Brazil has never defeated Norway. Okay, they had a couple of draws, and in the other two games, Norway defeated Brazil. That was not this Brazil team, and that was not this Norway team. But still, that's the history, but also the context within which those games were played. Those games were group matches. So Brazil having already qualified to advance from the group match to the knockout phase, it gives it a completely different dynamic. It's a group match is not the same as a knockout match, okay? But today we have two teams with a lot at stake for both of them, okay? This is the first time Norway has advanced to knockout phase. So this is historic for them. And a lot of people are talking about Norway being a strong team in Europe. And so this is the generation with Erling Haaland and all that they are counting on. So a younger squad also, very hungry, very desperate. They want to prove something. Now, Brazil, we know, Brazil just came through a chaotic phase since 2002 when they couldn't win anything, a lot of criticism, a lot of stress on these players. And then they bring in Ancelotti. And even from the beginning, they draw with Morocco, the game against Scotland, and people started smiling a little bit. And then the game against Haiti, Brazil defeated them 5-0. And now we're facing the first real test after Japan. Japan was step one for Brazil to prove what they can do. Step two, this is more decisive, so people say. So what's Brazil going to do about Haaland? That's the question. Apparently, all the commentators have summarized this game to Haaland. He's 25 years old. He runs, he scores, he scored goals throughout this tournament. But again, in the match against Ivory Coast, he only scored at the end of the match, in the dying minutes of the game. And it was a tap-in, not a spectacular goal. So it appears that Haaland can also be neutralized, even partially. And then somebody asked me the question, well, what will Brazil have to do in order to neutralize Haaland? The whole conversation is all around Haaland, as if Norway as a team doesn't even exist. Okay? So another thing that is being mentioned is Gabriel Magalhães, playing with Haaland in Europe, in England, knows him, has stopped him. They call him the specialist, the Haaland specialist. So why is Gabriel viewed as Brazil's Haaland specialist? Number one, he knows Haaland's game intimately. Okay, as an Arsenal FC defender, Gabriel has repeatedly faced Haaland while Haaland played for Manchester City FC. So what does that mean? He understands Haaland's preferred runs when he attacks the near post, how he positions himself between defenders, how quickly he accelerates over short distances, and his remarkable strength when shielding the ball. That experience is invaluable. I believe he's shared this with the rest of the Brazilian team. Okay. Number two, Gabriel's style matches Haaland's style. Haaland thrives against defenders who hesitate, back away, or allow him to turn. Gabriel is almost the opposite. His strengths include physical duels, aerial dominance, aggressive marking, timing tackles, staying tight to his striker. That's Gabriel. Those qualities naturally make him a difficult matchup. So, how about Brazil's defensive system? How will that help Gabriel? Because Gabriel cannot pull this all by himself. Stopping Haaland is almost never a one-man job. Brazil will likely defend collectively. Gabriel stays tight. Marquinhos provides cover. Casemiro screens, passing lanes, and Bruno Guimaraes helps deny service into the midfield. So this is exactly what Bruno Guimaraes highlighted before the match. The key is to prevent Haaland from receiving quality service in the first place. So now, what has Ancelotti actually said about this? Because apparently, like I said earlier, the whole conversation is around Haaland, Haaland, Haaland. Okay, one interesting aspect is that Ancelotti rejected the idea of having a dedicated Haaland specialist. I said this when I commented on the game between DR Congo and Portugal, that they need to treat Cristiano Ronaldo just as any other player and not treat him like a special one. That's what they did, and they were able to hold Portugal to a 0-0 draw. Now, Ancelotti told reporters the following: in essence, there is no anti-Haaland plan. His reasoning was simple. His defenders have faced Haaland many times already in Europe. They don't need special lessons. Instead, Brazil must defend Norway as a team, because Norway's attack also includes players such as Martin Odegaard, Alexander Sorloth, and Antonio Nusa. So defend the team, not a player. So the battle may actually be won before Haaland touches the ball. That is what Brazil must understand. This is where my observation earlier become especially relevant. Brazil may not try to stop Haaland. Instead, they will try to stop Odegaard through balls, Norway's transitions, early crosses, and quick counterattacks. If Haaland only receives 2 or 3 dangerous passes all game, Brazil has already done most of the defensive work. Okay, so what's the one matchup to watch in this game? The duel that could define the match is Gabriel Magalhães versus Erling Haaland. That's what we're all waiting for this afternoon. It's a clash between arguably one of the world's strongest central defenders and one of the world's most prolific center forwards. But if Brazil can cut off the supply from Odegaard and Norway's wide players, then Gabriel's job becomes much easier. Can Brazil do that? Yes, they can. That's probably why Ancelotti appears so calm. His confidence seems rooted less in one defender neutralizing Haaland than in Brazil's collective defensive organization. As he has emphasized throughout the tournament, winning begins with structure and discipline, not with finding a single hero. And I've always said this: discipline is much better. Develop discipline in your life, in your business, in your relationships, in your marriage, and you will succeed. All right? Let's go. Please subscribe to this channel and leave a comment, like the video, so that the algorithms on YouTube can show this video to more and more people. If you've liked it, please help us with the algorithm. All right? Thank you, and let's go.